Okay, welcome everybody. My name is Scott Chalmers. I work at Manitoba Agriculture and Resource Development, and I manage a small research farm called Westman Agricultural Diversification Organization here in Maleta, Manitoba. Today we have two special guests to talk about a trial today with winter wheat. We have Elmer Caskew with Ducks Unlimited as a consultant, and we have Alex Griffiths with Ducks Unlimited as an agrologist. And today we're going to discuss what this project is about with winter wheat, and one of the objectives here is to compare a producer-based approach to fertility versus a balanced approach, which includes using a soil test to validate what the producer should put on. And we have four varieties here on display. We have Elevate, Wildfire, Gateway, and Gold Rush. So today, Elmer and Alex are going to talk about the importance of this trial and what that means.
Thanks, Scott. I'd like to start out by thanking our partners, the Manitoba Crop Alliance, and some funding made available through Ag Action. And the importance of this project is that winter wheat is excellent nesting habitat for ducks in the early springtime, as it doesn't have a seeding pass going through, so it's undisturbed and gives the nests a very good survival chance. But with that, you also need to be making a profit, and we found that fertility is key with winter wheat, as to be making a profit, you need to be putting down enough to have the plant be making the two seedlings that it does, since it's growing in the fall time, but then again in the spring. And the timing is also key, because you need to have some nitrogen down for it to grow in the fall, and then some nitrogen again in the springtime. And I think I'll let Elmer touch more on
that. Okay, thanks, Alex. So just some more background information on this fertility trial. So what we've seen with winter wheat is that a lot of producers historically have just used the same fertility program that they've used on their spring wheat and implemented it on their winter wheat. And what we were finding is that producers were coming up with yields that were, in many cases, either the same as their spring wheat or a little bit lower even. And so what we had to do is we had to figure out, why we were seeing this. And one of the reasons is there's a big difference between spring wheat and winter wheat in their growth habit. And what we're seeing with winter wheat is that it has to actually go through that emergence and seedling stage of development twice. And it's often doing that during very cooler soil conditions, and typically what we've seen over the last number of years in particular is much drier soil conditions. And when that happens, nutrients like phosphorus and potassium have to be readily available for that plant very close to the rooting area of that winter wheat plant. So that meant we had to focus a little more, not just on nitrogen, but on the other nutrients, and in particular phosphorus and potassium, but sulfur in the micros as well. So it made it critically important that we had sufficient levels of phosphorus and potassium. And potassium is really important for winter wheat, for the winter wheat plant to make the most efficient use of the nitrogen. The potassium has to be there in sufficient amounts, because those two nutrients get taken up in lockstep with one another. So we had to make sure we had a balanced fertility program that matched the nitrogen rates that we were applying. And with that, we're hoping that we can get these winter wheat yields to achieve their genetic potential. In southern Alberta, under irrigation, we're seeing winter wheat yields that are in the 130 to 135 bushel range. And so our thinking is, under dryland conditions, and if Mother Nature cooperates, we should be able to achieve that 100 bushel per acre mark. And we feel using this balanced fertility approach with the nitrogen rates that we're recommending, we can reach that goal of attaining 100 bushel per acre under dryland conditions. And what we've seen so far with the results is that the balanced approach seems to be providing more consistent, higher yields. We haven't hit our target yet of 100 bushels per acre, although last year with our producer demos, we were seeing yields in that 75 bushel per acre range. We think that we can still achieve that goal, and we're pleased that in working with the diversification centers here to further this research and continuing on into this fall into the spring of 2022, I guess.
If you want to find information from this project or other site years that we've had before, you can visit our Manitoba Diversification Center's website at mbcenters.ca. You can also follow us on Twitter at WADO Research or at ScottChalmers15. And sometimes we have intermittent updates on the trial progress. Thank you very much.